Hello everyone, I'm Kara Minowie. This is Shell Point Today for Wednesday, January 15th. On today's show, we meet Tennis Hall of Famer Fred Drilling, who is teaching a tennis expo right here at Shell Point this Sunday. We'll also tour the home of Phil Matthews, who gets the most out of his new one-bedroom and den home in Rosemont. But first, it's the day that many people have been looking forward to. That is, if you hail from Sweden or Norway or Denmark. It's Scandinavian night at the Crystal Room, where you can enjoy beautiful hors d'oeuvres like caviar and creamed herring, as well as a full smorgasbord of hot dishes. Greg Pindara calls it his biggest buffet of the year, so surely you don't want to miss it. Scandinavian night happens tonight from 4 to 7 p.m. in the Crystal Room on the island. Now, we don't want to be accused of just filling you up with buffets in January. We also have a focus on fitness to help you set goals for the new year. That's where the Senior Fitness Test comes in. This test has been developed to allow residents to gauge their own physical fitness and therefore know what classes to take going forward, and then test their progress 6 months later to see how far they've come. It's a quick and easy process. Even last week at the LifeQuest Expo, residents were taking the Senior Fitness Test. So take advantage of this free service by calling Michelle Smith at 454-2107 and scheduling your own Senior Fitness Test. Of course, tennis can be a great way to get your exercise in, and there are tennis games going on every morning at the Woodlands tennis courts. But this Sunday, we're planning for a special session of classes with Fred Drilling, Tennis Hall of Famer and Senior World Team Champion. He's bringing his expertise to Shell Point at a tennis expo this Sunday at 4 p.m. in the Woodlands tennis courts, and all are welcome. Here's what you can expect.
Hi everyone, I'm Willie Demarest, and I'm here with a very distinguished guest, that I'll be interviewing. This is Fred Drilling, a friend from Estero, Florida, and he's a tennis professional. And he will be here this coming Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock for all of you residents to meet this champion. Fred, tell us a little bit how you got interested in tennis. I understand you've been a professional for 50 years?
Yes, that's correct. My father was a tennis player, and I used to say that I started when I was 7, but I have started my grandchildren at 3, so I'm pretty sure my dad had me playing at 3 as well. Ended up playing high school tennis there, and then went to UCLA on a tennis scholarship. Played against Arthur Ashe when he was playing for UCLA. Became a tennis professional at a country club, and started a tennis shop downtown, Washington, D.C. area. Got to know Vice President Bush when he was vice president, playing at the Naval Observatory, and played a lot with his son Marvin, and ended up going to Camp David and playing in a big round-robin event that the Bushes had. We called it the Bush Slugfest.
He was not only the United States champion in singles tennis, over 70, but he was also the world champion tennis player, singles tennis player, and that was in 2007. And I understand you enjoy teaching and that you hold clinics for children. Is that right, in your area?
I have taught all my life, and I think anyone that teaches knows that there's a lot of satisfaction in teaching and helping, whether they're kids or adults, accomplish things that they didn't realize they would be able to accomplish. So in Bellaterra, where I live in Estero, I started giving free clinics once a month to 3 to 6-year-olds, and then following that hour I would teach 7 to 12-year-olds.
Now, have you ever had a clinic for seniors like we're anticipating here at Shell Point?
Many times. I enjoy teaching and getting people back into tennis that maybe played 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. Some people have never held a racket in their hand. They're actually the easier ones to teach because they don't have bad habits that I have to try and get rid of. I like to teach kind of the easy way to play, just hitting pretty flat balls, being consistent at keeping the ball in place so that they can get lots of exercise, and it works at all levels. I will bring some of the players from those tournaments, some of my doubles partners out, and we'll give a little exhibition, but we'll try and get some of the residents involved in the exhibition as well. And
so they should bring their tennis rackets and sneakers?
They all should have rackets. If they don't have rackets, I'll be able to supply some, but shoes, tennis shoes, because of the clay courts, they need to have tennis shoes. And I'll give real basic things that will enable them to hit forehands, backhands, serves, and volleys, so they can all come out and play doubles, even for people that have never played before.
Oh, wow. You're going to get them on the court.
Yes.
This has been a great time with Fred, and I hope that you'll remember to come this coming Sunday at 4 o'clock at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. He'll be demonstrating and giving a little exhibit, and maybe playing against some of you. So bring your tennis rackets at 4 o'clock and wear your tennis shoes. This is Willie Demarest signing off with Fred Drilling.
Coming up next, we have an episode of Amazing Space. When Phil Matthews moved to Shell Point last year, he wanted a fresh start, which meant brand new furniture and other decor items. But Phil's one-bedroom and den in Rosemont has some other surprises, such as a series of mirrors to bring in the lovely views and an 8th floor skylight. Bobbi Brown takes us through this edition of Amazing Space.
Hi, I'm Bobbi Brown, and this, by public demand, is Amazing Space. Today, we're at the home of Phil Matthews on the 8th floor of the Rosemont building at the Woodlands. So we're going on a tour.
We are going on a tour, and you're going to get to see a number of things that we've changed, but it fits into the overall atmosphere at Shell Point, and that is an active lifestyle, one that is pleasant to live in, and an enjoyable lifestyle here. So let's go in and take a look.
All right.
This is the entryway, and the first table that I put in here was too wide, and it stuck out too much, and I wanted to make sure that down the road, if I had to use a walker or a wheelchair, it would be easy to get in and out of all of the areas in the apartment here.
So it's futuristic planning on your part.
It's futuristic planning from the standpoint that I want to make it easy to get in and out. I want it to be comfortable in terms of the color designs. The colors are pretty much the same throughout. They're the beiges, the creams, the light greens. This was a one-bedroom apartment with a den. And I felt I didn't really need the den, but I wanted to use space more effectively. So one of the first things I did was I took and turned the den into a second bedroom. What we did here is you can see that there is a queen-size bed without a lot of furniture in here. One of the most important things was that I didn't want to have dressers that were cluttering up the rooms, even though you do have a lot of clothes and things like that. And one of the things that I tried to do was to make use of closet space like that, where we had Shell Point build in some storage space, and it's very effective as a guest bedroom.
Rather than having a dresser or trying to find a wall space to put a dresser on,
correct,
you've just put it in there, and it's so useful that way.
It works well. Another thing about this room here is that there are French doors. And in order to increase the privacy, as opposed to putting in just sheer drapes, we put in these movable shades that are, number one, much more cost effective than the shears, or at least that's what I found it to be. And number two, they offer more privacy to the people that might be staying here.
Yeah, if you have a guest staying in this room, then they can close themselves off.
One of the other things that I tried to do was use furniture that could be used in different areas. And you'll notice that there's a chair at the desk. It doesn't match exactly to the desk, but it goes with the dining room set. We have multiple purposes in the furniture here. I'm going to take you in to the living room next, Bobbi, and I want to point out something that we tried to do here. Sometimes you don't have perfect views from your location. And I'm using mirrors in this apartment in order to bring in the outside. And it's a very effective way to do it. And particularly when you look for the first time as you're coming into a room, you're going to see a mirror over on the far wall that reflects the image of the Caloosahatchee River. And it looks like there's a lot of water out there.
It does.
Sometimes there are images that you don't have a direct view of, but what you can bring into your living environment just by using a mirror to reflect what is down off on the side a little bit. The chairs, when I looked at the chairs, I wanted chairs that were easy to get in and out of, very comfortable, but they had support to push up off of if you're getting up. It is kind of luxurious to just be able to sit back and put up your feet and relax and watch TV, have conversations, things like that.
And it goes flat up against the wall. When he puts the chair back, it doesn't hit the wall. It's amazing.
I put a karate chop into my pillows to add a little different spice to the room. Yeah, a little bit different. Adding an upgrade might offer an opportunity to change the room layout a little bit and add things like bar stools, which are easy to get into. I found the shell point support to be excellent, and I put in Corian countertops.
Instead of granite.
Yep. Cost effective. It fits in well. I like the edge molding that you're able to get. And so it just adds a certain amount of class to the room. One of the things that I liked about this apartment is that we had tray ceilings. And in order to set those off a little bit and change the mood of the room, we painted the tray ceilings in 3 different colors. And in the living room, I added crown molding, which just adds a little bit more elegance to the room, in my opinion. But the 3 colors, the dark color on the ceiling, and then the lighter color on the first part that comes down, those colors actually change depending on the time of the day. And it changes the mood, but it offers a little bit different atmosphere, I think, in an apartment.
Now we're going to see the master suite.
This bed has an electric mattress in it, and it goes every which way if you want it to, but if you have problems with your legs or circulation, this is a wonderful thing to have. You don't have to prop pillows underneath. It'll just go up to whatever level you want. Likewise, it will also go up in the front, and if you have sinus problems or maybe breathing problems at night, sleep apnea, having a raised elevation in the head near the headboard is very good for you and really helps out a lot. Getting back to the use of mirrors is that when I sit here and I'm working on the computer, it's helpful to be able to look away occasionally, to just relax and look at something peaceful. And in looking at it this way, the view I have from sitting is that I get that view of the Caloosahatchee River, and very frequently there are boats out there, and it's just a nice peaceful view.
It just makes the whole wall open up.
It does. One of the things that I would recommend that people think about is putting a chair or a small settee, a place to sit when you're getting dressed, and that little bench there is very functional and just something that I'm glad that I put in and found. I like what Shell Point has done from the standpoint of putting in showers instead of tubs, and in putting in raised sinks here, which are very effective, I think.
That's kitchen counter height.
It is.
And that makes such a difference.
We have a stacked washer and dryer here, and it's a nice convenient thing to have. And I would point out something that I had the cabinet makers take care of. Put a little shelf here, and it doesn't seem like it's a lot, but it's a very simple shelf to add, very inexpensive, and it holds detergent and
bounce fabric
and bounce,
softeners.
right. But it's nice to have.
Remover.
But a little shelf like that adds a lot in terms of convenience. I felt that a dining area, a little bit of a formal dining area, would be something that would add to this overall apartment. I can entertain, a total of 6 people here, and the room is small, yes, but it is very well lit.
There's the skylight.
We have a skylight here. We have the multiple colors of the tray ceiling. And again, this room is really very interesting. When we change it, if you take a look at those colors,
Look at that.
it just changes throughout the day. And it's a point of
And when you don't have a
interest.
light on, you've still got plenty of light in here.
I think so.
Beautiful.
Yep. I think that Shell Point is a beautiful place to live.
I just really want to say, Phil, I think you have definitely captured the lifestyle of a bachelor starting over
At Shell Point.
at Shell Point.
Yeah.
You need to recommend a friend or your own apartment. Call me, Bobbi Brown, at 590-9010 and tell me who you are or who your friend is, and are they willing to have us come and show their apartment too. So let's hope we get some new folks to go and visit. And thank you so much for your time today. And thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Bobbi.
It's now time to cover all of today's happenings from Resort Services. Then after your Academy news and menus, stay tuned for Village Church Connections.
Welcome everybody to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley and this is Leslie Brand. We're going to go over the activities that we offer for you here today. Bright and early start this morning at 7:45 when the men's Bible study will be gathering in the Osprey Room down at the Resident Activity Center. Then at 8:45 we have Lily & Company Jewelers here for their weekly jewelry service, also in the Resident Activity Center. At 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock, Jurassic Travel will be in the Egret Room to help you with your individual travel needs. Also at 9 o'clock we have the men's match play doubles tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. The last 9 o'clock activity is the watercolor group with Phil Hilton, and that's held down in the tunnel in the art studio. 9:15 we have scrapbooking group that meets in the Tarpon Room. The Model Yacht Sailing Club will be at the Woodland Common Lake at 10:15 sailing their boats. At 11 o'clock the Neuropathy Support Group will be in the Oak Room of the Woodlands. Then our last activity for the morning is 11:30 Health Connections class, Specifics in Strength Training. That's currently full. It will be in the Health Club. Here's Leslie with your afternoon lineup.
Bev, today we start at 1 o'clock for the afternoon activities with chess in the Library Lounge on the island. Health Connections, it's all about you, chronic disease self-management program is at 1:15 in the Manatee Room, but that class is currently full. And the Model Train Room starts their tours at 1:30 and goes until 3:30 in the train room. 1:45 is the Health Connections Balance and Mobility Training Level 1 in the Health Club, but that class is currently full. We also have a Health Connections Ask the Urologist men only and a women's only class in 2:15 at the Social Center. Sign up is required. 2:30 is Jazz and Stuff in the Grand Cypress Room. Bible study is at 3 o'clock in the Community Room at King's Crown on the island. And we also have a Health Connections 3 o'clock Pilates Stretch in the Health Club. And lastly, for 3 o'clock is the Memory Care group on the 3rd floor craft room in King's Crown. Sign up is required. And make your way on out for some delicious food to feast like the Vikings in the Scandinavian night at 4 o'clock in the Crystal Dining Room. 4:30 is the indoor bocce at the Health Club. 5:45 is the church choir rehearsal in the choir room at the Village Church. And lastly for today is 7:15, prayer and praise at the Village Church on the island. Thank you for tuning in with us today. As you can see, there's a lot of activities going on, so make sure you make it your way on out to whatever you would like to do, and have a great day.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Wednesday. At 1 o'clock, Intermediate Bridge continues in the game room of the Woodlands. Also at 1 o'clock, our live figure drawing class continues in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. At 1:45, Computer College Prep School continues in the Computer Teaching Center on the island. Just a reminder for tomorrow, our presenter had to cancel the first session of A Salute to Shakespeare due to circumstances beyond his control.
Menus for Wednesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is 3-cheese lasagna with garlic toast and Italian vegetables. The dinner special is the Scandinavian buffet for $19.95, and the soup of the day is chicken Florentine. In the Island Cafe for lunch, enjoy a ham, turkey, and Swiss sub with fresh fruit for $7.25. The dinner special is grilled shrimp for $8.25. In the Palm Grill on Wednesday, you can have baby back ribs for $16.95 or Florida grouper for $20.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Glenda Stevenson, who's our church administrator. But Glenda wears a lot of hats, as a matter of fact, and one of those hats is that you're the chairman of the missions committee of the Village Church, and we have some very exciting, actually the highlight of the year kind of thing for not only the missions committee but for the Village Church, I think, in Global Impact Week. And we've already mentioned some things about it in the past, but tell us a little bit about what the overarching idea is. What's the theme of that week, and why does that matter to us?
We're actually going a little bit of a different direction this year with our theme, and it's very purposeful. We talked a lot about it as a missions committee, and we want to contextualize missions appropriately to the heart of God. And oftentimes we're asked, why do we do this? You know, why are we sending people around the world to share the message? And really, missions is the heart of God. Mm-hmm. It's born out of His love for the world. We're told that God loved the world so much that He sent His Son. And as we begin to understand that message, as we begin to internalize that message and appropriate it to us personally, we begin to want to participate in that and sharing that story. And so our theme this year is just simply a love story, and it's the story of God's love for the world.
Now, obviously, for a people who've been impacted by the love of God, that's really what drives missions, isn't it?
It is.
In other words, we are a people who were desperately in need of a Savior, and God could have rightly just left us alone and left us go our own way, but because of His love, He sent His Son Jesus for us, and then in addition to that, sent His Spirit to convict us and lead us into a relationship with Him. So we in the Village Church really have been impacted by the love of God, and you can't really be impacted by the love of God and then just sit on it, can you?
You really can't. And the beauty of it is God is still seeking His creation. And that has implications for me personally, but it has implications for sharing that story with the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there are many people around the world who have been very responsive to that message, haven't they? And our denomination that obviously we're associated with, and we support the missions activities of the Christian and Missionary Alliance, is committed to sending people to not only unreached people, but also responsive peoples all across the globe. Mm-hmm. And we'll move missionaries from place to place. And some of the places that we've had missions for a long time who've been really well established and have national churches that are strong, we'll move missionaries away from there and send them to places that perhaps are on the cutting edge of missions activities, either places that really don't have a gospel witness or places that have proven to be very responsive to the message of the gospel.
One of our couples for this week is coming from North and Central Asia, and we are moving as a denomination towards those areas of the world because the need is so great. So we're looking forward to hearing what they had to share.
Yeah, and some various activities of the week that help us exemplify and describe and promote that kind of love story would be what kinds of things?
We pour a lot of energy into this week because it is important to us, and so our Sunday services are particularly rich. We spend some time having fellowship times after those services. Monday night we have our missions banquet, and we fill the auditorium with tables. We have an opportunity to just sit down and fellowship with each other, but it's a sharing of the passion for what we're doing around the world. And John Corby will be speaking at our missions banquet. It is a ticketed event, but tickets are complimentary. So anybody that would really like a ticket and wants to join us, they just need to call the church office and we can arrange that.
Yeah, and the complimentary means free, right?
It does. It does, and it's a wonderful dinner.
That's going to be an extraordinary week. I know in the churches that I've been in the past, that's been the highlight of the year, to see the Global Impact Week unfold, and to have a theme like Love Story, I think is going to capture the imagination of our people and drive us forward.
We do have evening services as well on Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights, besides the Monday night banquet. Friday night is a special, more creative service that I don't think they want to miss. We have some morning sessions, Wednesday morning and Friday morning. Details are available in our church bulletins and certainly by calling the church office, but it's a time to make a priority in your schedule.
That's great. We're looking forward to it, and we hope that you'll join us at the Village Church for Global Impact Week, and we'll hope to see you soon.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as we learn the 10 questions you should ask yourself to gauge whether assisted living can improve your life. We'll also talk to Charles Shepson, who helped to start a church in Minnesota that recently celebrated its 50th anniversary. Until then, this is ShellPoint Today for Wednesday, January 15th. I'm Kara Minowie. From all of us here at ShellPoint TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.